What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Corner Podcast. Kel Dansby here. Oh, man, Andreas Hell. Today, we are talking about boxing. Yes, this coming off the heels of the 5v5 in Saudi Arabia, Matchroom versus Queensberry. We'll talk all about that. We'll talk about what should have been the main event for the light heavyweight title. But alas, we did not see that. But Dimitri Bivol went out there, handled business. We'll talk about what's on what's in his future now that we know that there's a new date set and what that means for him and an undisputed champion in that division. But Dre, we're coming in here just right away. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson is, well, by the time people listen to this, maybe we have the official fight date. It's supposed to be announced on Friday, but it's not going to be July 20th like it should have been in Dallas. And then now they're up against the NFL schedule. So who knows what weekend they have in the fall. And you're going to be competing with college football, pro football, all on Netflix at night. It's going to be a tough sell when they had all the eyes of the sports world on them. They lost a lot with this postponement and with Mike having a medical emergency for a stomach ulcer on the flight.
Yeah, this is what happens when a 58, soon to be 58-year-old is booked for a boxing match. There's no surprise. Like when it happened, the ulcer happened, I was like, okay, medical emergency. I talked to Tyson's reps. They was like, no, he'll be all right. I was like, he's 58 though. Like he's about to be 58 later this month. I can't imagine them just clearing him to fight. Lo and behold, the medics were like, nah, bro, take it easy.
Yep.
You don't need to be out here, having a stomach. Like if your stomach ulcer flared up on a flight, imagine in a fight, what would happen? So they have to reschedule the fight. But all the things that you said are true and very concerning because that date was picked for a reason. There is literally nothing going on. There is no competition for Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Netflix can clean up and break live streaming numbers, do everything they can do. Jay can have, on his resume, like broke records on Netflix. Now, yeah, you're up against the NFL schedule, but you got to stay in Texas. You can't move out of Texas because ain't no other commission going to sanction this fight. So you have that going up against you.
Vegas?
Maybe. Doubtful. I don't think he clears medicals. I don't think Mike can clear
especially not now. You right. just hold steady.
You gotta stay in Texas, which there aren't a whole lot of open dates. But like you said, you're up against the NFL, you're up against college football, you're just up against everything.
Yep.
And the worst part about this, which is not what nobody's really talking about, is what was underneath the main event. Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. Amanda ain't getting no younger. No. So she can't wait that long to fight Katie Taylor. I saw somebody say, put it on the August 3rd card. No, you can't do that. The August 3rd Terrence Crawford card. Because that's stupid, right? It's just dumb. This was supposed to be a big payday for Amanda and Katie with so many eyeballs on women's boxing in a co-main event of this humongous card. I don't know what you do with this fight now.
Because this is not Katie's last hurrah, but it's Amanda's last hurrah. So you got to wait 100%. It out.
So you have to wait it out, but how long do you want to wait it out? Darren Till can wait. Everybody else in this card can wait. But Amanda and Katie can't really wait. And you got H2O Sylvia against Floyd Schofield, two young guys.
Yeah.
They want to fight.
Yeah, they can't pay shit for them. No. Amanda went through a full camp, messed up her eye, didn't get to defend her title, didn't run that back from the Puerto Rico fight, jumped right into this, which not a full camp, but she's halfway through camp. Now you got to say throttle it down, another full camp. So she's going on a year of camps with 0 fights.
Yes, I don't know when you rebook this. Yes, MVP has said we're going to announce a date on Friday of this week.
Jake has said 4th quarter, so October, November.
But that's
a world away.
That's the thick of it. That's the thick of football season. Hopefully the Cowboys stink by then. But I mean, that don't even matter because it's a Saturday fight. But
I mean, college football is.
But you got when do Saturday games kick in? December, right?
Yeah, after November. Yeah, November, last week of November. Yeah, because right before then is still college football. Rivalry week is Thanksgiving week in college football.
Like you want to steer clear of college football. Like you have
Can't.
to.
You just got to go. Their schedule's out. So now you just got to pick the weakest Sunday night matchup, or excuse me, Saturday night primetime matchup. We're going against that one and hope the Cowboys aren't playing a home game.
But then the other part of this is when you're 57, about to be 58, every month is like a year.
Yeah.
Right. So Mike is just getting older and older and older and older. He's going to be damn near 59 by the time these two get in the ring. I don't even want to see the fight anymore. Like, I'd rather them just not do it. I'd rather them pull Mike, make a deal with KSI.
I thought that was the way to go. Keep everything the same. Pay KSI whatever he wants.
But KSI is like, I ain't fighting until December. Like, there's a rumor right now going that KSI is going to fight Amir Khan.
He's definitely losing to Amir Khan. People got Amir Khan fucked up.
They really do. They really think like Amir is like this guy that just is completely washed up. No, Amir
was just fighting.
Yeah. like granted, he'll probably be, a fluffy Amir Khan at that weight class. But still, them skills ain't really gone nowhere. The chin's never been great. But if that's the route they want to go, but I just think there's too much going on here where holding out for Mike and then hoping that he clears medicals for the fourth quarter. Look, at this point, the KSI fight is massive. Just fucking do it. Let Mike go home. Leave him alone. Like stomach issues, like it's probably best. It's probably best if he doesn't fight.
And I get it. It's at this point, whatever Netflix wants. KSI is a huge name overseas, and that fight is probably better fit overseas. If you are going to do KSI, which is very hard logistically to do now, it would make more sense to move this entire fucking card to London because you have Katie Taylor as well, which would sell crazy overseas. But to move an entire card, I guess you could shift the date and still get like mid-August.
I mean, I think you
try to beat NFL.
The bigger issue is having to do an outdoor stadium overseas.
Yeah. Midsummer, though. If we gonna run, no, I'm talking about like reschedule it for August.
Oh, KSI said he ain't fighting in August. So
so KSI fucked up everything. Yeah,
because there's really nobody else for Jake to fight. That like this was a freak show attraction type of fight with Mike Tyson. Everybody could talk about it as much as they want, but everybody was going to watch it.
Yeah,
if Jake fights,
everyone still will. Else, it's free. They'll still watch.
It's just they won't watch him versus Tommy Fury as much as they watch him versus Mike Tyson. So it's like KSI or bust. There is no real other opponent unless Conor McGregor was like, I'm gonna go box you now. Like that's the only other scenario. The Hulkamania Conor McGregor says I'm gonna fight Jake Paul. That's huge. Yeah. Outside of that, I don't see anything that's gonna draw that kind of eyeballs. But
you have to have a backup plan now for October and November.
It's tough because the tough part is like I've saw people say, well, what about Mike Perry? Yeah, that would be fun for a regular pay-per-view, not a Netflix show.
But you got to tell Netflix now, I don't know that a 58-year-old man is going to make it.
Well, I'm sure.
Theoretically, we should have never counted on this before.
Yeah.
But now we have to have a backup opponent ready.
Yeah, but I'm sure Netflix is like, well, then we're out of this business. Because they're not doing this show just to do a live event. They're in the show to break records. Like, I'm sure, like, Netflix is like, who the fuck is Mike Perry? If they brought him up.
No, you got to do, like, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
That won't work.
You got to have somebody on standby. That at least gives you a bunch of Mexican fans in Texas.
No, nobody likes Julio Cesar Chavez.
They'll show up if Julio Cesar shows up.
Not at AT&T Stadium.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
No, for senior. For senior. They'll show up in honor of him and just watch his son get his ass.
Everybody's
We've seen it. We've seen it with Canelo.
Yeah, but everybody's giving up on Chavez Jr.
I just saw Julio Cesar Chavez, the real Julio Cesar Chavez, get a fucking Kings just applause and welcome at the Canelo fight. If he's like, I'm going to be in my son's corner,
no, they won't. He's done this before. And I don't think Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. is going to show up. He knows his son is trash.
That Canelo fight where he's just like, fuck me.
And how many years ago was that?
It was way too long ago.
Man's lost to Anderson Silva. So no.
It's a good
There
matchup
is
for Jake.
but the thing, the matchup for Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is already there. It's Darren Till. So
Ugh.
it's already happening. So Jake doesn't have an opponent that would move the needle outside of Mike Tyson. It's Mike Tyson or KSI. There's nobody else. Nobody. Because even if you tell Netflix we have a backup, if you're Netflix, you go, oh, so that's who he's fighting? Because he ain't fighting Mike. If you tell me that there's a backup, I'm immediately disqualifying Mike Tyson because I don't think he's going to make it.
But they need to have that because I still don't think he's going to make it.
But that's the thing. I don't think Netflix is stupid. I think Netflix is going, it's either him or not. And if it's going to be not, maybe we got to move on. Like, it has to be KSI. That's the only answer. It has to be KSI. That's it. Nobody else fits the bill. Or Conor McGregor. Or Canelo Alvarez. And none of those guys are going to fight him. So there's nobody. But this, I don't even want to say it sucks. I'm just going to say, well, maybe we saved Mike's life. That's all I can think of.
Hopefully, somebody. But the problem is, it's the biggest payday him or his camp is going to have.
Sure. I don't want him to die getting it, though.
No one. I mean, but if they ain't going to save him, it's not my job to save him. And that's the weird place we're in right now. I guess we transition now to the 5v5 from this past weekend. Saudi Arabia.
Where should we start?
We're not starting from the top and working back. We're going to work through some of the bottom of these things and get to where the hell we got to go.
No, we're not.
You hate chronological order.
I do. Like, for starters, I didn't predict that Matchroom would go over on this night. I thought they'd win one fight. I thought Ray Ford would win. I thought Ammo Williams had a chance. He got beat up. Like, I thought Deontay had it. Like, he went over. Eddie Hearn got skunked by Queensberry. Skunked. I didn't see that coming. But no, people listen to this damn podcast, they don't give a fuck about Ray Ford or Eric Ball. They don't give a fuck about none of this. They care about Deontay Wilder. And that's where we're going to start. I don't care about anything else.
Okay. It's, again, you touched on it. I'm shocked that they went over. I would have picked Matchroom to skunk Queensberry before I ever thought of them losing every fight.
Agreed.
Yeah, so I mean, looking at it, trying to look at the card now. Start the main event. It's only the main event because Artur better be get hurt. Let's leave this out there.
And DAZN should, first of all, DAZN should be ashamed of themselves. Beterbiev gets hurt. They have a replacement for Bivol. They know that this is not the pay-per-view people want to see. Regular broadcast outlets drop the price of the pay-per-view to $30. DAZN keeps it at $70. What the fuck? They were wild for this. That was just awful. That's where I used to work, but that was fucking dumb. Anyway, new main event: Zhilei Zhang versus Deontay Wilder. If you're listening to this podcast, you don't know what happened. I don't know how, because it's like, I know like my algorithm is very boxing, wrestling heavy, but all I see is Deontay getting knocked out all over my timelines. That's all I see.
Shit was money everywhere. There was social media gold right there.
Like this, man, watching Deontay get knocked out. So I'm at UFC 302 when this happens. And I remember I'm thinking about the size difference. And I'm like, well, Zhilei Zhang doesn't move a lot. So as long as he's a stationary target and like Deontay lets his hands go, he probably could knock him out. Deontay Wilder's gun shy. Like, he's cooked. Like,
that Wilder fight took it out. That third Wilder fight?
The Wilder Fury
Fury fight. Yeah.
Well, then he goes out there and gets schooled by Joseph Parker, which didn't help at all. Right?
I mean, he had a win against somebody. He knocked out somebody.
He knocked out Robert Helenius.
Helenius in Brooklyn.
Who Joshua then absolutely destroyed, like, not too far after that.
Yeah.
So I knew Deontay was on the back end, but holy shit, the drop off, right? I don't know. By now, everybody's seen the clip. So let's just talk about it. He gets hit with the right hand.
Yeah.
Not sure what Deontay's thinking, turning to the referee. I have no idea.
Spun around. Hey, bro, you gonna let him hit me like that?
Yeah. And then Zhang, who's not like quick, lumbers across the ring and demolishes Deontay with the right hand. Deontay hits the canvas, no chance of getting up. He does. They're like, nah, this fight's a wrap. So we know what it is. Zhilei Zhang wins, Deontay loses, and immediately people are calling for his career. I'm one of those people. Cynic in me says,
his mama's one of those people.
The cynic in me says this: if you need more money, there is a Saudi bag waiting for you to fight Francis Ngannou.
Sure.
In a loser leaves boxing match. And you can legitimately put that at the top of the bill. The loser of this fight may never box again. Francis, if you lose, it's over. Go to the PFL, do your thing. Deontay, if you lose, go home to your 8 or 9 kids. It's a wrap. That's the cynic in me. But Deontay is so cooked. For a guy who never was very skilled as a boxer, who was very reliant on like the hardest right hand probably in boxing history, once the skills eroded and he like the athleticism and now he's just completely gun shy, he's a nobody.
Because he's not throwing the right hand. He has one weapon and refuses to throw it.
He's done. He's like, there are levels to being done. This is like done to the point where
hockey puck steak done.
Yeah, like just get him out of it. Like he can't fight. I don't think I pick him to beat Francis Ngannou right now. That's how bad he is when it comes to, man, are you going to throw your hands? Because that's all you got. You're not a boxing specialist. You barely have a great jab. Is that right hand from hell? But more importantly, your chin is done. You don't like getting hit. It's over for you, Deontay Wilder. So I think he should retire, man. I think it's over. I don't want to see him fight anymore.
I'm not mad at him fighting Ngannou.
No.
Because the guy's not a boxer.
Correct.
If you get chinned by Ngannou, then it's over.
Loser leaves boxing. Sign a contract. This guy's saying that. Yeah.
Big Bang Zhang, I'll say they didn't do him, Wilder, any favors matching him up on his way to this AJ fight. Because they gave him a very tough matchup against a guy who was skilled and he lost the decision where they should have gave him a total can and waited for AJ to do what he does and then they meet each other.
AJ would have murdered Deontay.
I would have rather that happen.
But that's what's going to happen.
Now they throw him to Big Bang Zhang, who at least measurables wise is the most comparable to Tyson Fury as you can get. And it was like, yo, let's give him a guy Tyson Fury size with a pretty damn good chin and with hands that are like cinder blocks. They move slow as fuck. But if you get to the 4th or 5th round, he can literally use the exact same game plan Tyson Fury did and beat Deontay Wilder. Lo and behold, he did. So it's one that stylistically did him no favors. Big baby Jared Anderson is the biggest loser in all of this because Wilder's in no position to fight a real boxer.
Not at all. Yeah, like,
and that kid could have made a name for himself.
He could have, but Deontay Wilder is cooked, man. It's like so over. It's so hard to believe that around this time, 2019, 2020, it was Deontay, Tyson, and people were saying Anthony Joshua was washed up.
Yep.
And Alexander Usyk had just showed up. And people were like, man, he's too small, right? Alexander Usyk is now the undisputed champion. Anthony Joshua is whipping ass, fighting everybody. Looks maybe better than he's ever been.
Sure.
Whereas Deontay's completely fallen off the table. We're never going to get the AJ Wilder fight that we were very close to getting in 2018, 2019.
And this year.
Yeah.
All we needed is one win.
And we're not really sure how good Tyson Fury is right now. Like, we're not really sure. After getting chinned by Usyk the way that he did, we would think that, well, yes, it was a close fight. He got beat by a better man, but
Trade man lost by 1 round.
All I'm saying is
it was an even round. He lost by 1.
All I'm saying
by 1 knockdown.
I think when you take the Usyk loss and the Ngannou knockdown, you put them together. This is a man who's on the backside of his career. His prime years.
But we could have said the same about AJ.
No, but this is why I'm saying it's different because AJ lost to Ruiz, he got knocked out, came back, won that fight. Then he just lost to Usyk, right?
Yeah, twice. Neither fight as close as this Fury fight. Neither of them.
My point is that they could have stopped the Fury fight. If the Ngannou fight, if
I
the
hate
Ngannou,
that people say that. I
they could
understand.
have. They could
They
have.
could, but it's ridiculous for a guy that we've seen get up every single time he's been knocked out for the ref to not even give him a count and just to stop it.
They
Either you
could have.
let him hit the ground and see if he gets up, or you deem that the ropes held him
I'm
up and you
just
give the man a
saying.
count.
I'm just
I
saying they could have.
understand it's just a ridiculous narrative when the history of this guy is that no matter what he gets hit with, he always gets up. Because it's not his first time being down. He always gets up. And this time he got his ass up again off of the ropes, regrouped, and then ended up still winning a round. Like,
My,
it's a
but
ridiculous premise.
my issue is Fury's punch resistance is going away.
Yeah. You got to start doubting if he ever had it. He just has resilience.
No. He because he got dropped by Wilder multiple times. He just gets up.
Yeah.
We've never seen him that hurt like he was against Usyk.
It took a couple rounds to shake this one.
Like he was hurt. And the
he
reason why I say
off, but it took a while.
The reason why I say I couple it with the Ngannou like knockdown is like, I don't think the Fury that fought Wilder the second time would have got touched by Ngannou. He would have trucked his ass.
Yeah. But so, you can see in his body, he wasn't even trying. But how much can you just waffle through your body, right? Like,
well, this is what I'm saying. This is like, I'm not saying Fury is done, but what all I'm saying is,
commitment level is.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, like, I think we've seen the best of Tyson Fury, right? I think Anthony Joshua's kind of showing us that he might still have a lot left, and he might just not be able to be Usyk. Like, that might just be his brick wall.
Maybe. I would love for Tyson Fury to win, and then AJ think he's like easy pickings, and I don't think he would.
Like, I don't think the thing about Anthony Joshua, I said this before, him losing these fights probably the best thing that happened to him because it took away that superhuman, like untouchable superstar guys, and now this fucking guy just wants to win fights. That's all Anthony Joshua cares about. He doesn't care about his public image. He doesn't care about advertisements. He just wants to fight, and the veil of being invincible is now gone. So he's got nothing to lose when he fights anymore. Fury is still the guy, right? Like, he's still the number 2 heavyweight in the world. There's no question about that. It's just funny that 4 years ago, it felt like it was Fury, Wilder, and everybody else. And now it's Usyk, Fury, who seems like he's on the downside, and Wilder's like completely fucking out of the conversation. Like, he's gone, out of here. It's a wrap. And the sad part is we didn't get Wilder Joshua. We didn't get Wilder Usyk. And people are going to now say like he was never that good to begin with, which I think is ridiculous to say because you don't do the fights that you did with Tyson Fury. You don't, like, yes, Luis Ortiz, but you don't just blow everybody out with like a 98% knockout rate by not being good. Because good is the great equalizer, which is one of the greatest right hands we've ever seen in the sport. But it's a wrap. It's over. It's over. It is over. I don't know how we're going to remember Deontay. The detractors, as time goes on, are going to say that he was never that good. But those of us that were there and seeing these knockouts was like, yo, he was never that skilled. But the fact that he was able to obliterate people and not be skilled says something.
Yeah, I mean, he has a really big fucking right hand. Like, it's one of the most frightening punches in boxing history. And that's how he'll be remembered. But not as a great boxer. And he did help lead a resurgence in the heavyweight division.
Dude, it's because of Deontay Wilder that American heavyweights fucking matter.
Yep.
Like,
and there's still not a ton of them.
No, but if it wasn't for Deontay, like, this is serious. Because Klitschko lost to Fury, then Fury went away, then Joshua beat Klitschko. Heavyweight boxing globally was huge, but nobody in America gave a fuck about heavyweight boxing until Deontay Wilder came along. It took Deontay Wilder coming along and blasting out all these guys that American heavyweight boxing became a thing again. And then you have the Jared Andersons, and you have, like, you can see like Andy Ruiz, people are paying attention to him. Like, American heavyweight boxing is a thing again because of Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder he deserves more respect for what he did.
Andy Ruiz?
I don't know, man. He's another one. He fought.
Give him to big baby Jared Anderson. No, now that Wilder's not there, like, you got to put something on this April 3rd card or August 3rd.
It's a great fight.
Yeah,
I think it's a dangerous fight for Big Baby as well. But
I think so too. But shit, let's see what you got.
I know. But it's like the heavyweights are still ruled by guys overseas. Joe Joyce, Daniel Dubois.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that real quick. That's another guy. That was another guy that people wrote off after he lost to Joe Joyce. They called him a quitter. They said all these bad things about him. He loses to Alexander Usyk. People still write him off. Philip Hrgović goes into this fight, and I've been around Hrgović before. He's an arrogant motherfucker. Hrgović was like, he ain't that good. If I lose to him, I'm going to retire. Daniel Dubois puts his ass through the fucking rinse cycle.
It was somewhat competitive early, and I was like, oh, these two just want to bang. Like they're gonna stand and bang. And then Daniel Dubois, again, a guy with immense talent. And this heavyweight division is just shaking out at like, you take a loss, bro. Like styles make fights. But don't think these hands won't come and get your ass.
So here's the kicker about Daniel Dubois, who stops Philip Hrgović. And I'm so happy he did because I like Daniel Dubois. Everybody forgets Daniel Dubois is 26 years old.
Super young.
Everybody forgets this part. He's fought Usyk. He's fought Joyce. Like, and those guys are old. Daniel Dubois is young. He is still, for all intents and purposes, probably a future champion.
He hurt Usyk to the body. Might have been a low blow, but he hurt him.
Like, I'm just saying, like, once Usyk calls it quit, I don't think Usyk's going to be here much longer, right?
No, I think Usyk is like 2 fights away from maybe just chasing like super fights. Like if he can go down and for any reason like Dimitri Bivol can come up and they can meet at a cruiserweight. Maybe we get that. If there's another undisputed cruiserweight champion, maybe he goes down, beats his ass real quick. If for some reason Joshua just goes on this tear and they have a trilogy, that might be the last. I think he got like 2 years left.
He doesn't have much time. Daniel Dubois is 26.
I feel like they all got 2 years left.
But Daniel Dubois has more than 2 years left. Clearly,
yeah.
Right?
You got a decade to be their age. Got a decade.
I think Daniel Dubois is going to capture one of these titles in the next 3 years.
Yeah,
like he's going to get one of them. And now that Hrgović
Big Baby,
but I think he's better than Big Baby. I think Daniel Dubois.
That's fair. Big Baby's like 23.
He's a kid.
They're
both kids.
Yeah.
But I think Daniel Dubois is more battle.
In 3 years, I think when the belts are split, Big Baby, Jared Anderson will have one. Dubois will have one. Maybe Top Rank finds a way to get what's his face, the Olympian 1-2, but he hasn't fought anybody. But they'll get that kid one, and then someone from overseas will still have one, and then we have like a nice little good matchup. Richard Torres, by the way, is the Top Rank guy. But there's in 3 years, shit will be wide open again. And maybe there's a guy at cruiserweight we don't even see coming. Because at this point, I'm not ruling anyone out. I refuse to do that again. There's no Usyk's on the radar yet, but I'm not counting anyone out.
But like with Daniel Dubois, and the reason why I'm thinking this, Daniel Dubois is probably going to end up fighting Anthony Joshua at Wembley. That's probably what's going to happen next. And
they need a big fight.
It's an IBF interim title fight, right? Mm-hmm. Philip Hrgović was supposed to be the number 1 contender for the IBF. Anthony Joshua tried to fight Philip Hrgović. Hrgović was like, nah. And then Hrgović ended up with Dubois, and Dubois cleans his clock.
Yep.
Daniel Dubois might be the best heavyweight with 3 losses because he's probably going to lose to Anthony Joshua. He could win, but he's probably going to lose to Anthony Joshua.
It's a little early still for him.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like you said, I don't know how good Jared Anderson is. I don't. His last couple of performances have not been great, and they're still against nobodies. I don't know another heavyweight at this age that has fought like the best fighters in the world already at heavyweight. Already.
No, it's tough. Like they've moved him well to see what he has. He's tripped up a couple times, but that's the one thing about boxing is when you take those L's young, by the time you get to 28, 29, you'd be like, well, you're no fucking Alexander Usyk.
No.
And you'd be like, I've already fought him. So who else is going to be that skilled again once they all leave? So you'd be like, well, I'm not scared of this. Like Joe Joyce fucked up my eye and hit me with a jab that I could not block. But I learned how to defend a jab. Maybe. We haven't. AJ's going to jab the shit out of him.
Yeah.
But maybe he's learned. We'll see. And it's one of those things where those lessons carry on forever.
There's Daniel Dubois has, like I said, you could almost parallel his career to early Vladimir Klitschko, because Vladimir lost, he got knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
People forget it wasn't like Vladimir lost to Tyson Fury. That was the first time he ever lost. It was like Layman Brewster, like he was Corey Sanders, right? Yeah. So he took his lumps and became a better fighter. I think that's what's happening to Daniel Dubois, and I don't think anybody's really paying attention the way that they should to Daniel Dubois' career. Like, he fought Jared Miller, big baby, Jarrell Miller, and people were like, "Oh, Jarrell Miller's going to beat him because Daniel Dubois is a quitter," and then Dubois blew his ass out in the 10th round, just obliterated that man. Then it was
the man was 400 pounds.
Yeah, that too. So then Hrgovic steps up, was like, "You suck. If I lose to you, I'm going to retire." Dubois was like, "Cool," beats the brakes off of this man, bloodies his face, makes his corner, makes him quit. They're doing him no favors by putting him in there with Anthony Joshua right now. But even if he loses to Joshua, this guy's a future champion. He was the one bright spot on this card that I was like, that's interesting.
Do you think it's for the title by the time we get there, or is it a number one contender by the time?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I think now
it might be for the title.
I think it won't be for the title. I think now, because Hrgovic was the number one contender.
He was, yeah.
Now you can say Dubois hasn't been waiting for 3 years. AJ hasn't been waiting for 3 years. There's no need to vacate now. You've lost that leverage. The guy who was waiting for 3 years is why you would have forced the vacated belt. Now it's just for the interim belt again, but you guys guaranteed get the shot at the next undisputed champion because there's no more rematch clause.
Yeah,
so
that's also true.
I think Hrgovic losing is really what, and that was one hell of a gamble, but what Team Usyk was gambling on. Because now they can go to IBF and be like, bro, no one's been waiting. AJ just fought us twice and we beat him. Why are you going to give him the belt? And Dubois has recent losses. He's looking great, but he hasn't waited 3 years.
Yeah,
there is no, that'd be both. There's no reason to strip him. Hrgovic is gone.
The IBF is goofy, but hopefully they're not that goofy. So hopefully you're right. So other than that, Dimitri Bivol completely ransacks a guy off the street, basically. And now we get the better BF fight. So is
October 12th.
Is that the old date for Fury Usyk? Was that the original date for Fury Usyk?
Yes. It was supposed to open Riyadh season.
And now they moved that to December. What, like 23rd? Like right before Christmas?
Because Usyk had surgery or something.
Yeah.
Because his jaw was fucked up.
Yeah, he fucked up his jaw. So now you got those two. The only other real thing to talk about boxing is poor Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu had that nasty cut against Sebastian Fendora. They book him to fight Virgil Ortiz. Everybody's like, yo, this fight's incredible. The doctor's like, that shit ain't healing right. He can't fight.
It's crazy because to know that 2 months out, it's like, oh, that shit's deep.
That was a bad cut. That really bad. Like, and it sucks for Virgil because he's like, man, before it was just me. Like, I couldn't make a fight. Now my opponents can't make a fight. So that fight now falls off the card. I don't know.
Maybe they might try to rebook it.
But it falls off August 3rd. I'm sure that Virgil's going to be like, yo, just give me somebody, right? And they may find somebody for him to beat up because it wasn't the main event. It wasn't even the co-main event. It was like the third fight on the card.
Yeah.
So, it sucks for Tim.
Saudi Prince or whatever said he's going to stack the card now because that fell off.
Yeah, well.
That's why big baby Jared Anderson will probably get someone. And I think Andy Ruiz is a great replacement, especially with the fight being in LA.
Yeah.
Ruiz will bring him out.
He will.
Tough fight.
Mexicans love Andy Ruiz. And
they do. So, put Ruiz on that card. I don't know where else they think they can get someone. I'm not sure who else is inactive.
I don't know either. I have no idea. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. Have you been paying attention to the build for Blair the Flair Cobbs and Adrian Broner? Have you been paying attention to this shit?
I tried not to. I saw an Adrian Broner clip today that claimed he had bodies and he's going to shoot somebody.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck. That's this weekend, right?
That is this weekend.
Whatever happened to Nate Diaz?
They got pushed to July. Nate Diaz and Masvidal they pushed it to July. Yeah.
I didn't even hear that announcement. We went to the whole press conference. I'm looking last weekend yo, isn't there supposed to be a fight tonight?
Yeah, no, I ran the news on ESPN. Yeah,
Did you?
They pushed the fight to July 4th weekend, which is funny
Oh,
because I had already took the time off, and they was like, "Do you wanna?" And I was like, "Nope, I'm not. Nope, I don't care."
no,
So yeah, that
I'm
fight
not
got
doing that
pushed
either.
off. But Blair Cobbs versus Adrian Broner. Look, I was around Blair at the Zone. Blair has pillow hands. He's fun to watch.
Flare the flare.
He's not necessarily good. Adrian Broner should win this fight.
No,
If he doesn't, oh boy. He's
Dre.
talking. Look, man, Adrian's not good, but Blair's not good either, right? Like these are two guys. This is actually like this fight could
Blair's
absolutely.
young.
Yeah,
Blair's
he's
young.
young.
Adrian is not young anymore.
No, but this is a fight that can absolutely suck on Saturday night.
I
Like
don't
this
even
fight
know
could
if
be.
Broner makes weight.
He'll make weight. Broner's gonna make weight. Like I think Broner has reached a point in his career. This is just my opinion, where he's blown it so much that he's going to make weight, but then he's going to realize that his skills have eroded so much that he blew his prime years. So he's going to make the weight. He's just not going to look good in the ring. That's my problem with Adrian Broner. He's spoiled all the goodwill that he had, all the years that he had, and now he's going to try to get it back. It's kind of like what Zab Judah did, even though Zab almost always made weight. He just blew his prime years with alcohol, partying, and all that shit. And then when he tried to get serious again, it was too late, and Danny Garcia beat him, and like it just wasn't great because he's still trying to reclaim that old glory. So I'm gonna watch the fight this weekend. I don't
got shit else. I mean,
I'll be watching
I'm watching
UFC
the
on my other
Xander
screen.
fight.
Oh yeah, Xander is fighting this weekend.
Yeah, I watched the Xander fight. I'm trying to take my grandma to that fight, but stuff is up in the air. Shout out to everyone in the top rank. Trying to take my grandma to that fight because Puerto Rican flags up there. She is repping super hard, and it's Puerto Rican Day Parade weekend. Hence the nails. In New York, so I'm trying to get out there for that fight. So that's going to be great. His first headlining fight, but it's kind of the calm before the storm because next week it's Tank week, baby. Tank versus Ghost.
It is Tank
and
week,
Benavidez.
Yeah, I might have to cover the stupid UFC card. But
where's the UFC card?
Here, it's not a great one. It's a fight
at the Apex.
Okay. Yeah, I might never happen to be at the Apex, so I'll be watching it on my other screen. But we'll get to talk about that. I'm not gonna say I'm more interested. I think the Frank Martin Javante fight is great, and of course I want to see David Benavidez. But Super El Matias is fighting in Puerto Rico next weekend too.
Oh,
and I just like to watch Super El beat up people. Yeah. So there's a lot for us to pay attention to because Matias wins. Look, I don't know who wants to fight that guy. I don't know. Like, does Javante want to fight Sabrel Matias?
No, he's not going up to fight Matias. Fuck no. No, that's not the guy you vacate to fight. But I would say that maybe that would be a really good return fight for Devin Haney.
It would not.
If he can pull it together.
No.
If you just want to show that, that was just drug test shit. That was someone on roids. Get me back in the ring and watch what I could do.
No.
Devin's crazy enough to take that fight, Dre. No. It's crazy.
He is. But here's why it's a bad fight, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of damage he dealt with from Ryan Garcia that night. And I don't know how it's going to affect him. And the last thing you want to do is put him in there with a bigger puncher. Right? Because Matias, he's a bigger puncher than Ryan. He is not as fast, but he's bludgeoning. He destroys people. And I don't know what Devin's punch resistance is going to be like. So you put him in there, not with a soft touch, just not with a big puncher. Then you work your way into the Matias fight. Because, dude, it could have been irreversible damage that Ryan Garcia dealt to Devin Haney on that night. We don't know. Yeah. Devin
hopefully he's young and he's bouncing, but yeah.
But that kind of beating that Devin took, like, again, I've always said it, like, Ryan won. Even though they could reverse it, none of that shit matters. What he changed Devin Haney's life on that night. Devin may never be the same fighter again. Never. He may be really good, but it's like when Margarito beat the brakes off of Miguel Cotto. Miguel was not the same fighter. He still ended up being a really good fighter, but he wasn't the same. And Ryan punished Devin that night. We had never seen Devin like that. And then to put him in there with Matias, like, I don't know where Devin's headspace is at because now he knows he can get knocked down. Now he knows he could get hurt.
Yeah.
and then you get hit by somebody that hits harder than Ryan Garcia.
And that guy, he ain't gonna stop. Like if he got you hurt, he's pushing on the gas.
Look, I'm not joking. Like Sabrel Matias killed somebody.
Yeah, he really did. 100% did. That's sad
like,
as fuck, but he
it
did.
Is, but I'm like it's way too hard. Like, don't play with that guy.
Teofimo would fight him, and their dates kind of match up close enough.
Tio's a maniac. He would do it.
Yeah, like Tio is taking a light touch. Let's just be easy.
Yes,
but it's down to Miami and showcase fight, and his last fight wasn't great because it was on a Thursday and it was fucking weird. So he's just like, all right, let me get back in here, knock off a mandatory, so they leave me the fuck alone about this belt, and then I can see what I want to do. So I think Tio would fight him if they can get. It wouldn't surprise me if Subriel wants to wait. Subriel Matias, Teofimo Lopez, December top rank card at the Garden. Puerto Rico, there. It wouldn't shock me if that's the main event.
And Tio would do it because Tio's winning. That's my argument against Devin doing it is because Devin's coming off of what appears to be a loss, right? Yeah. Like Teofimo still, his confidence is through the roof. Like he's not coming off of getting bludgeoned by somebody who was on a bunch of steroids and a bunch of other shit. He's missed weight. He's not dealing with that. No. Tio will fight him.
The worst part is that motherfucker could get away from left hand. It doesn't matter what the guy was.
Yeah, I know. So it's
confidence wise, you just got to figure that out.
He's got a lot to do. He's got a lot to overcome. So fighting Matias is the last thing. But we'll talk about both of those fights next week and dig into whatever Gervonta's doing. And look, I've seen my man Dame Lillard sitting there like, man, don't sleep on Frank Martin. Don't sleep. So we'll kind of break this fight down because
Dame's a bigger fan of Ghost than I am.
a lot of people are writing.
I don't think he's bad.
Just
levels to this shit. We shall see. So no, we'll talk about that next week. Shout out to everyone. Again, if you're not on Patreon, please join there. We're gonna have a Patreon episode this week talking about all the WNBA stuff that's going on. Caitlin Clark, just giving our thoughts. Supporting women journalists just in general, because it's, they deserve tons of fucking credit, especially here in combat. Shout out to all the women holding it down in combat. There's a ton of really good women here in this space that don't get enough love as well. So we'll be talking about all of that on Patreon this week. And of course, there's other, I'm pretty sure allegations will pop up somewhere for us to talk about as well in the world of music. So in the meantime, though, follow us, like, subscribe, do all of that good jazz. For myself, for the old man Andreas Hell, till next time, we're out.
Peace.